Ryan Walker was born in the industrial city of Northbridge, located in the Midwest of the United States. Northbridge was not beautiful, but it was busy. Factories ran day and night, trucks moved endlessly, and people lived routine lives built around work and survival. Ryan grew up in a small apartment near Harrison Street with his parents and younger brother. His father worked in a metal factory, and his mother cleaned offices at night. Life was never easy, but it was stable. As a child, Ryan was quiet and thoughtful. He watched people more than he spoke. He noticed how tired his parents were every day, how money always ran short, and how dreams were slowly replaced by responsibilities. At school, Ryan was average. He was not weak but not strong enough to stand out. He was not poor enough to receive sympathy, but not rich enough to feel secure. He learned early that life rewarded very few people and ignored the rest. When Ryan turned 18, everything changed. His father lost his job due to factory downsizing. Months later, his mother fell ill and could no longer work. Bills began to pile up, and the apartment that once felt small now felt like a cage. Ryan dropped out of college to work full-time as a night clerk at a warehouse near Riverport District. The work was exhausting, repetitive, and poorly paid, but he had no choice. Northbridge was a city of contrast. Ryan saw expensive cars parked beside broken sidewalks. He watched people wearing suits enter restaurants he could never afford. At night, while returning from work, he noticed how carelessly people lived. Unlocked cars, unattended bags, doors left open for seconds too long. These observations stayed in his mind. At first, they meant nothing, but desperation has a way of changing meaning. One night, while cleaning a storage area at the warehouse, Ryan noticed a supervisor leave his locker unlocked. Inside was a wallet. Ryan stared at it for a long time. His heart beat loudly. He thought of his mother's medicine, the unpaid rent, the electricity bill. Slowly, almost without realizing it, he took the cash and left the wallet untouched. He went home shaking. Nothing happened. Days passed. No questions were asked. No cameras were checked. No punishment came. Fear slowly faded and was replaced by relief. Ryan told himself it was a one-time mistake, but deep inside, something had shifted. The line he had crossed did not feel as heavy as he had imagined. Weeks later, Ryan stole again. This time it was easier. He felt smarter, more alert. He started noticing patterns more clearly, security gaps, blind spots, routines. His actions were still small, but they became frequent. He paid bills on time, bought medicine, and even saved a little money. To Ryan, crime began to feel like a solution rather than a problem. Northbridge, meanwhile, began to change. Northbridge had changed. New buildings stood where old warehouses once existed, familiar streets felt unfamiliar, and people moved faster, colder, more distant. Ryan walked through the city quietly, carrying the invisible weight of his past. Every corner reminded him of who he used to be and what he had lost. Ryan found a small job at a community repair center on the outskirts of the city. The pay was low, but he accepted it without complaint. For the first time in his life, he worked without shortcuts, without lies, and without fear of being caught. At night, he often sat alone, thinking about the moment that had started everything, the first theft, the first excuse. He understood now that crime had not saved his family. It had only delayed pain and multiplied it. Occasionally, young people from the neighborhood gathered near the repair center. Some of them complained about money, injustice, and lack of opportunity. Ryan saw his younger self in their faces. When they asked him about prison, he did not glorify it. He spoke honestly about loneliness, regret, and missed chances. Some listened, some laughed, but Ryan kept speaking because he knew even one changed mind was worth it. Detective Ethan Cole retired years later. In an interview, he once said that the hardest part of his job was not catching criminals, but understanding how easily ordinary people fall into crime. Ryan's case stayed with him as a reminder that prevention is more powerful than punishment. Ryan lived the rest of his life quietly. He never became rich, famous, or important in society's eyes. But he became something else, aware. When he died, there were no headlines, but there were people who remembered his warnings and chose a different path because of him. But when Detective Cole spoke calmly and placed evidence on the table, Ryan understood there was no escape. He confessed. The court case attracted public attention. Many people were shocked. Ryan looked like an ordinary man, not a criminal. In court, Ryan spoke honestly. He explained his desperation, his family's struggles, and the fear that drove him to make his first wrong choice. The judge listened carefully but reminded him that hardship explains crime, it does not excuse it. Ryan was sentenced to long-term imprisonment. Prison life was harsh and slow. Days felt endless. Nights were silent and heavy. Ryan lost contact with most people from his old life. His brother moved away. His mother passed away while Ryan was behind bars. The news broke him completely. For the first time, Ryan fully understood the cost of his choices, not just to himself, but to everyone he loved. Years passed. Ryan changed. He worked in the prison library, read books, and helped other inmates learn basic skills. Regret became his constant companion, but so did understanding. He realized that crime did not begin with theft, it began with a single excuse. One decision made in fear had grown into a life-altering disaster. Northbridge slowly healed. Businesses reopened. People felt safer. Detective Ethan Cole moved on to new cases, but Ryan's file remained one he never forgot, a reminder that criminals are often not monsters, but ordinary people who choose the wrong path. Ryan was eventually released as an old man. He returned to a changed city, carrying nothing but memories and lessons. He lived quietly, far from trouble, spending his days warning young people about the road he once took. After his release, Ryan Walker did not feel free. Freedom outside prison was different from what he had imagined during long nights behind bars. Reports of theft increased. Small businesses were broken into at night. People became cautious. News channels spoke of a silent criminal who never left evidence. Ryan watched these reports with mixed emotions, fear, pride, and denial. He did not see himself as a criminal. He believed he was only surviving. As months passed, Ryan's confidence grew. He began breaking into closed shops and warehouses at night. He planned carefully, avoided confrontation, and left quickly. Money came faster, and fear almost disappeared. Ryan moved his family to a better apartment and bought new clothes. To the outside world, his life seemed to improve. Inside, his conscience slowly faded. What Ryan did not know was that someone was watching patterns too. Detective Ethan Cole of the Northbridge Police Department had been assigned to the growing theft cases. Ethan was patient, methodical, and experienced. He did not chase rumors. He studied timing, locations, and methods. Slowly, a picture formed. The crimes happened near industrial areas. The thief avoided violence. The pattern suggested someone familiar with warehouses and night shifts. Ryan made his first real mistake on a cold winter night. While breaking into a hardware store on Lakewood Avenue, he rushed after hearing footsteps and dropped a glove near the back entrance. He escaped, but the mistake stayed behind. That glove would change everything. Detective Ethan Cole stood silently in the evidence room, staring at the black glove placed inside a transparent bag. It was ordinary, cheap, and worn, yet it carried weight. The fabric held tiny fibers of industrial dust, the kind commonly found in warehouses around the Riverport district. Ethan did not rush to conclusions. Instead, he compared records, work schedules, and locations. Slowly, a short list of names formed. One name appeared again and again: Ryan Walker. Ryan continued his routine, unaware that the walls were closing in. He still worked night shifts, still planned his crimes carefully, but something inside him had changed. Sleep became difficult. Sounds felt louder. Every siren made his heart stop. Confidence had slowly turned into tension. He sensed that his luck was running out, though he refused to admit it. One night, as Ryan returned home from work, he noticed a police car parked near his building. He froze, then forced himself to walk calmly past it. The officers did not stop him. Still, the fear remained. That same night, police obtained a warrant based on surveillance patterns, fiber analysis, and Ryan's access to restricted areas. The silent investigation was finally complete. At dawn, officers knocked on Ryan's door. He opened it slowly. He did not resist. In that moment, he felt an unexpected sense of relief. The constant fear, the lies, the double life, it was finally over. During interrogation, Ryan stayed quiet at first.